Shall we make a rabbit hole for Alice to fall down? July in my journal is Alice in Wonderland inspired, and I had this idea that you needed to fall down the rabbit hole to get to the theme. So I made this extremely extravagant 4-page cover spread that you fall down into Wonderland. I did several layers of brown marker to try to create depth as you fell down the rabbit hole. As you can see, just building it up. I have to say that the Ohuhu markers are pretty solid. I used them quite extensively on both sides of the paper to create this effect, and not one of them ran out while I was doing this. And I've used them in several different places as well, so here I'm just adding some more depth to the green. Of course, my quote for this month is, "We're all mad here," because of course we are. We did a 4-page cover spread. I was originally just going to do around the quote, and then decided that I didn't like that. So I did the whole first page. And of course I'm using my acrylograph, but I wasn't super pleased with how it turned out on the green, so you'll see later that I try to fix that a little bit. I do like how it comes out on the brown here though, even though I decided to add a bit more shading to make it stand out a little bit more. But like, it is the bottom of the rabbit hole, so you know, it should be really nice and dark in there. And then the really fun part came where I was trying to figure out how to place some of these.
Why don't you want to go on this date?
Because I'm not over Allie, and I know I should be moving on, and this girl is okay, but she's not Allie.
So does Allie.
What'd she do?
Wait. Just hold.
Please don't blow your nose. You did so disgusting.
Got that.
I don't need to know that bad what you said.
Begging you to stop. Just stop. Just.
No one
It's not
is
all
Allie,
just,
okay? You have to give other people
you
a
know,
chance. You
slapping
deserve to
stuff
be
down.
happy once, and just go on.
There's a lot of planning that goes into some of this stuff. Some of it, not all of it. Some of it is just playing.
No, I'm gonna go on a date. Yeah, I think I'll do that. You guys are right. Could you tell your future husband to let me out of this room, please?
I love that man, but he's not letting anyone out of this room. Just being here makes you fully contaminated.
Hey, I was hoping you could put in a good word for me. I know you're mad.
No, I'm not mad, Jess. I'm just bummed that you're at my house.
Obviously, I know I messed up our relationship, and you probably think I'm a bad person, but if you just...
And then once I had kind of an idea of what I wanted to do, that's where I got really just throw down the stickers. Make it look like you're falling into Wonderland. I will add more of the teacup stickers later, but I did want to try to save them for the whole theme. And of course I had this Ivy washi tape, which was fantastic. Just added a little bit more depth to the cover page. And then I started on the calendar. I decided to use inks for the background on the calendar. It's like make stamps. So I found some cool things that I had, and I just kept building it up, and then created some more depth with my pencil crayons, trying to make sure that the tree kind of looked like a tree and there were bushes around the tree, adding more depth to the tree. Added the path for Alice, and added the signpost. Added some more depth with the Ohuhu markers again, because I didn't think that the tree had stood out quite enough. And then some messy, kind of straightish lines for the calendar. Added Alice and the Cheshire Cat. And then, of course, the Alice in Wonderland font. Then I moved on to my trackers. You guys have no idea how long it took me to draw out all those teacups. And then, of course, I went back in later. You'll see, maybe. And I added all of the details on the cups because I wasn't going to draw the details on the cups later. I have a bad habit of wanting lots of detail and then deciding during the month that that detail is not worth my time. So I added all the detail up front, and I'll just go in later and color those with the appropriate moods. Oh yeah, didn't get any of me drawing those details on there, but that's okay. I went full ham on all the teacups on this spread because it's a high tea party. And then my stats, notes, and media pages. These ones are always kept pretty sparse. So really just the font and then some decorations around the edges. This is where I decided I didn't have quite enough decoration on this spread and decided to add some washi tape that has some roses on it. Debating if I should add more to the spread or not. And of course my meal spread. It's always kind of difficult to decorate this one, but found some washi tapes, had these cool stickers, added some food stickers. Then I did all my fonts and dates. The meal tracking spreads are 5 dot spaces by each for each row. The first weekly for July, I decided to do card faces for the date numbers, I guess. These seemed like low enough dates that I could get away with doing the card faces and not having to do strange things to get the numbers I wanted, I suppose. And then I'm gonna do the date initial or the day initials, and then decide that after I do these, the card edges, I'm going to decide that that's not quite enough to kind of designate where the dates are. So I'm just going to come in and do a one or every other line highlight. And then I'm going to make it into a checker pattern. Because again, I didn't think it was enough. And then once all that's down, I'm pretty happy with how this weekly looks. So I start decorating with some stickers. And then this weekly, if you can't tell, is going to be inspired by the caterpillar. So each of the weeklies is a box of smoke that the caterpillar has blown out. Just really had fun playing with some cool colors. Got to put in July, and then the teeny tiny little caterpillar. Trying to make him look as realistic as possible, and then put him on the little mushroom. Put in my dates. This weekly was kind of fun to figure out because I kind of wanted these bottles, but I was like struggling to find bottles that were big enough. And then once I had all the like correct size bottles, it didn't look like there was enough on here. So I added the other 2 bottles. And then this weekly is inspired by the garden scene from Alice in Wonderland, which is why I'm doing a every other line highlight with this green Tombow. I know it's not super fun watching the every other line highlight, but then I went in and decorated with some flower stickers because frankly I hate drawing flowers, so I use the stickers instead. And then a bread and butter butterfly up at the top. More of the Alice in Wonderland inspired July font. I got looking at this and I was like, that's not enough flowers. This is supposed to be the flower scene. So I found a washi tape that I had that had some slightly smaller flowers. This washi tape is kiss cut, but it's not particularly well kiss cut, so if you see me struggling to get some of these flowers off, that's why. And then once I was happy with the amount of flowers, I went in and put in my day initials and then put in the dates. And then my final weekly, I needed some space to do my meal tracking as well. You can see I goofed up over there, but that's okay. That's what white paint markers are for, is to fix the goof ups. As you can see, I wasn't happy with where I placed July originally, so I scooted it over. By this point, you get pretty good at doing your font. And of course, we decorate with some more of that rose washi tape that I used earlier, because the theme should theme, as Erin says. More of our teacups. And that's it. This is the whole flip through for July. It was really fun to set up the same. It feels really chaotic, honestly. And what is Wonderland without some chaos? I'm really hoping that once I get into the mood tracker and start putting in some colors, it's going to look really cute with all the teacups. I'm excited to just get into these pages and start using them. I don't really have a favorite weekly because they're all so different. It's funny because it doesn't feel particularly cohesive, but it does. So we'll see how I feel once I actually start using them.